Hey all, Pete here. Working on some trap modifications tonight, and like I said in my last video, it's been a while since I shot any trapping videos, and I had so much fun shooting one the other night. I got to thinking, like, what's another one I could shoot? And I was like, you know, I don't think I've ever shot a video on how I expand my pans on my traps. And so I'm gonna do that today. And a lot of cat trappers expand their pans on their cat traps. And I certainly do that, but I also expand my pans on all my number 4 double long springs for coyote or bobcat. I don't expand pans on beaver traps because I want a smaller pan on a beaver trap. I want their whole foot to get in there before the trap starts going off. But and beaver have a big back feet, right? So coyotes and bobcats have smaller feet, so I like to expand my pans on all my number 4s. My number 3 long springs, I expand the pans if they're only cat traps. But if I use them for either, I don't expand the pans. And what I use to expand the pans is I just go down to Lowe's and I buy some of these electric fan box covers. And they make different sizes of these. They make a 4x4 that I don't like. I think it's too big, and I'll explain why at the end of this video when I show you a completed one. They make an octagon shaped one that I like, and that's on a lot of my traps, especially my cat traps. And then they make this round one that's a little bit smaller than the octagon one, and I really like this one a lot. So that's the one I'm using today, and I'm gonna show you why I like it so much. It's got a little groove in the bottom there, and that has to do, I'm sure, with however these are used with the electric fans. I don't know. I'm not an electrician, but I also think it's there because God loves trappers, and He knew we would use these to expand pans on traps. And that little slot can fit right down over the knock where the knock sits to hold the dog, and you can position it over that so that you can get it positioned where you want it without having to have too much on one side or the other. And so I really like these a lot. So let me show you the first thing you have to do. And well, first of all, the reason why, you know, you expand pans, why I do it, is because it gives me more catch area. So there's a bigger area that the animal's foot can hit to set the trap off, okay? And so I think it's valuable to do it, but in my opinion, and there are people who I know disagree. I've seen guys have a pan that's expanded all the way out to where it's only not even a 1/4 inch away from the jaws all the way around. And they'll cut, you know, on the sides to make room for the springs. And I don't like to do that, okay? I'm not saying it's wrong. I don't like to do it, and I will show you why at the end of my video. But to expand a pan, the first thing you do is you need to get the pan outside the jaws. See how it's outside the jaw here, right? Then what I'm gonna do is I'm going to take my vice grips and I'm going to position this where I want it, and I'll show you once I have it positioned. And I'm going to take my vice grips and I'm going to clamp them down. So see how I can put that groove over this part of the pan where it holds the dog, and I can slide it down so it's down about halfway, but it's not going to interfere with the dog inserting itself into the knock to hold the pan in place. And so that's why I like this particular one, because it's a little bit smaller and it's got that little groove on it, okay? Once I do that, I'm going to take my trusty drill, and this bit's getting a little dull, so I already did 2 of the holes. But I do 3 holes. So I do 1, 2, 3. And 3 is good because if a rivet, I use rivets, if a rivet comes out or something, you still have 2 holding it. And 3's secure. 4 is a bit overkill. I used to do 4, but I got tired of drilling and riveting and drilling. So 3's good, 3 works. And you can see I've already drilled 2 and put 2 rivets in. So I'm gonna drill a 3rd hole. I gotta make sure I don't drill into the bottom of the pan that holds keeps the integrity of the pan itself. Like I said, this drill's a little dull. I need to get a new bit. I should have picked one up today and I forgot. There we go. So I use 1/8" rivets like this. You see I put my other hole in right there. This one I started to drill and I was like, oh, that's dead center over the support for the pan. And so I got to drill it to the side a little bit. Put my rivet in and I'm just going to insert the rivet, clamp it down and press it. There, done. So now my pan's in place. Okay, now I'm gonna put it back and I'm gonna set the trap so I can explain why I do this the way I do it. Okay, trap is set. I've increased my catch area by just about 1/2 inch, a little over 1/2 inch all the way around. If you use the octagon ones, you're going to increase it by about 1 inch all the way around. But here's the deal. The closer this gets to the jaw, the more likelihood you have of a coyote or a bobcat stepping on the pan and the jaw at the same time. And if they depress that pan to fire the trap with part of their foot on the jaw, it's going to throw their foot out and you're going to miss. Okay? And so that's why I don't like the big 4x4 squares, because they just come way too close to the jaws. Okay? I like the octagon ones. I do like those. Those are on a lot of my traps, but I also like these round ones. Okay? And so I can set this trap, put it in the ground, and I can put a little guiding in a couple spots in between the pan and the edge of the pan and the jaw. And it still gives me a big catch area, right? But it lessens the chance that the animal will put his foot on the edge of this and on the jaw at the same time. You know, you got some good space right there. So if you guard a little bit here, 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 a little bit over here, you got a good big catch area. It doesn't feel like you're guiding too much. There's lots of place, lots of room for them to put their foot down, but they're still going to hit the pan. Okay. The other thing I like about expanding pans is that some guys say if you use traps with wide jaws, you should pack the dirt inside the jaws so that the only firm place, so that if they step in between the pan and the jaw or something and it's loose dirt, they won't pull their foot back. I don't do that. So I figure if I guide a little bit around this open area, that if they put their foot down, it's going to be a solid surface. They're going to hit this pan. My pan tension's high. It's 4 to 6 pounds. They're going to put all their weight. They're going to commit all their weight before that trap fires, and I'm going to have them. Okay, and so it's not a hard process to do this. It's pretty simple. All right, and I think it's worth it. Okay, I don't have toe catches with coyotes doing this. I just don't, and I may at some point, but I just don't. And I expanded all my traps, all my number 4s a few years ago, and I have not regretted it at all. The one thing with these round ones, they're a little smaller. I don't know where it is, but you can see those centers missing. There's a center part that I just punch out. You could leave it in. I just punch it out. You know, it doesn't need to be there. From the back, you can see that I've expanded my catch area close to 1/2 inch all the way around. With the octagon ones, you're gonna expand your catch area to almost 1 inch all the way around, about 1 inch. You know, and then the 4s that some people use, they're coming all the way up and all, you know what I mean? Like they're big. It's just too big for me. I don't like that. So anyway, it's that simple, you know, easy peasy. Okay. So that's why I use the size I do, and that's how I do it. Some guys weld them on. You can do that too. You can weld them on. I don't have a welder here at home. I have to go out to Farmer Fred's house. If you saw my video where I was offsetting traps with a welder, I was at Farmer Fred's. And if I want to use a welder, I have to go out there. And I would just rather do it here at home. Only bad side to this is if I decide to convert these to pit pans next year, then I will have to, you know, put all new expanded pans on everything, but it's no big deal. You know, it's only 12 traps like this that I have. So all set. Okay, so that's how I expand my pans. I use 1/8 inch rivets. I felt like 1/16 is a little small and 1/4 inch is just too big to be drilling all those holes all night long. So, you know, 1/8 of an inch, so you can drill the hole pretty easily if you have a new sharp drill bit. And 3 rivets, bam, 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 on the way to the next trap. So that's one of the trap mods I do on all my number 4s. Any number 3s that are going to be just used for bobcat. And on my number 4.5 wolf traps, I have expanded pans on those as well. So I still haven't got to use my wolf traps. I was going to trap wolves 2 years ago and it didn't work out. Then last year we adopted, so I didn't do much trapping last year. I did a little bit, but I was busy doing dad stuff. And this year I got my schedule all sorted out so that I can get a couple good months of really good trapping in. Even though we've got a daughter at home, I can get it done while she's at school, and she can go with me on the weekends, and we don't lose any time together. So trapping's fun, trapping's valuable. It's part of being a conservationist, but family always has to come first. If you're spending more time on the trap line than you are with your kids, that's a problem. So anyway, that's all I got for today. Remember, God is great, guns are good, and freedom is precious. See you in the next video.